Welcome to our big match preview and back by Ladbrokes for the season. Remember, you get yourself £20 by betting yourself a fiver with your first bet. Sign up with the link in the description to get involved. T's and C's apply. Saints once again on the TV this weekend. Saturday evening, 5:30 kickoff. West Bromwich Albion come to town. Joining me to look ahead to the visit of the Baggies back from his holiday. Nick, how was the sunshine in Sicily?
It was good. Took in the Palermo v Parma Serie B game and enjoyed a bit of a break. But glad to be back. I saw the Newcastle game and now I'm looking forward to West Brom.
Back to Blighty. So football this weekend. West Brom obviously come down to St Mary's. Let's start briefly on our performance last weekend. 2-2 against Newcastle. You know, we allowed them to respond pretty much immediately. It's not the first time we've done that though with this squad. You know, last season, notably, we done it against our opponents of this weekend, West Brom. Is it individual errors that might have cost a result last week, and what does it come down to?
Concentration, basically. I mean, we didn't concentrate. We'd equalised, and as I say, the old saying is you're most vulnerable just after you've scored a goal, and that was it. We'd scored, we got back in the game, we got a bit excited, and instead of taking a couple of minutes just to keep it tight, keep the shape, etc., we dashed forward and they got the ball and dashed forward and scored.
So looking ahead to this weekend, then obviously speaking on our opposition preview, I spoke to West Brom fans and they believe that West Brom will come down here, sit deep, always be compact as they always do, and they'll try and snatch a result that they did last season. But we showed some character, you know, last weekend to come back twice. But do we need to see more of that again this weekend?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, it's slow and steady progress. It wasn't great on Sunday, but it was a step forward. We scored a couple of goals and we got a point. Ironically, if we'd have got all 3 points, we'd now only be 2 points off the top 5. Now, although it's all ifs and buts, it does show that, you know, we're still handily placed. And if we can beat West Brom and win a couple of games in a row after that, it will change the complexion of it. West Brom are going to come deep, but they've got goalkeeping problems. Foster looks set to miss the game again. Myhill was injured last night and won't be at full stretch in any way. He's barely played in the last 5 years in the Premier League. And if neither of them are available, it's a 21-year-old kid who's never played a first-team game.
You know, those are West Brom's vulnerabilities at the moment. You know, their goalkeeper, 21-year-old lad, as you say. This could be a perfect invitation to pepper their goal, put them under pressure. Definitely.
I mean, you know, Stoke City were suffering defensive problems, but in the end, they got a couple of players out and they had people in who could fit in. But, you know, lacking a goalkeeper is a big problem in this quality of football. Yeah, we've got to have a few shots. I mean, every goal we seem to concede seems to come from distance. And, you know, teams just seem to lash the ball and it goes in you know, an impossible angle to stop it. I don't blame Forster for the first goal on Saturday, at least. Sunday. But, you know, Watford did the same. Watford came here, got men behind the ball, didn't really do anything apart from swing a leg at 2 balls, which went in from distance. And that's what we got to stop. And if we do that, keep our concentration, we need a bit of luck. We're not a bad side. We've got players who can score goals. We get a bit of luck, we can get a real good result Saturday.
Now, of course, the big discussion, the formation. Everyone was crying for 2 up front. You know, there's also more questions to be asked at the back. You know, we saw more or less 2 up front against Newcastle, Gabbiadini, Long. However, there is another problem that we have, the partnership problem at the back. Yoshida led the team out against Newcastle and he's played every single game this season. We've paid big money for Wesley Hoot. And right now, for me, Van Dijk looks like he's going through the motions, as we were discussing, you know, weeks ago. I think he looks disinterested which partnership should be right against West Brom.
Yeah, I mean, Maurizio Pellegrino seems to be caught between a rock and a hard place. On one hand, he has Yoshida, who's given 120%, as the proverbial goes. But ultimately, he's not of the quality of the other 2. You have Virgil van Dijk, who is, on his day, the best player of the 3. And Pellegrino seems to feel obliged to play him. And then you have Wesley Hoot, who, you know, was arguably man of the match at Crystal Palace and has done nothing wrong in the games here. So, Pellegrino on one hand doesn't, he seems to be waiting for Yoshida to make a mistake so he can drop him for Hoop, because he seems afraid to drop him because of his commitment. And he seems afraid not to pick Van Dijk in case the toys go out the pan again. So Hoop seems to be the fall guy at the moment. I think he's got to be harsh. And if I'm honest, being harsh means that he has to play Hoop and Van Dijk together.
Well, at the other end, we've also got a big discussion, though. We've also got Gabbiadini, Long, Austin. But let's wrap things up when, after all that's been said, give us your score prediction. Can I guess what it's coming?
Well, I'm going to go for 3-1, but I think the one is going to be the goal that perhaps will make me cheer more than others, because one thing we haven't mentioned is the return of Jay Rodrigues to St Mary's. And Jay Rodrigues, when he got injured a few years ago, was on the verge of perhaps a glittering career at St Mary's, which has been blighted by injury and other things. He needed to get a clean break away and has gone to West Brom, and he'll come back on Saturday. And I hope, the supporters stand up and give him a good ovation. He was a player who didn't throw his toys out the pram, just got on and didn't have the best hand dealt to him, but accepted it, battled hard, and, now he's trying to earn a career in the game, which probably won't be what he had hoped a few years ago. So I hope we get 3-0 up, and if we're going to concede a goal, I hope it's Jay Rodrigues that scores it.
No, I think I speak for, a lot of people out here. I think we'll all applaud for Jay Rodrigues, and, he could even be in for an England call-up. But excellent stuff, Nick. Don't forget to leave us your thoughts in below. Leave us your predictions for Saturday's game. Leave us your likes, your comments, and subscribe for more.